Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head over to the state of Virginia in America for the second time in quick succession actually. My first ever review from Virginia was just a couple of videos ago, the Valhalla Double IPA from Triple Crossing, which was from Richmond, the state capital. This time though we're going to head a little bit further north to a little place called Alexandria, which is just a bit to the south of DC, which of course is bordered by Maryland to the north and east and Virginia to the south and west. And for this review we're trying my first beer from Aslin Beer Company. So this one is the Double Orange Starfish and it's a double IPA coming in at 8.3% ABV, hopped with Citra and Galaxy. So a nice bit of American and Australian hops in here, but it's supposed to be very nice. It was rated 100 overall on Rate Beer and I think it was 95 within the style, and it had a very high rating when I checked it out on Untappd as well. So really looking forward to trying this one. This is a beer that I picked up in the Mikkeller General Store when I was over for the MBCC, the Mikkeller Beer Celebration Copenhagen at the weekend, and I just happened to come across this one on some heady topper and things as well, so I picked up a few cans to try, but really looking forward to this one. It's a brewery that seems to have a very good reputation when it comes to the New England IPAs, so very much looking forward to it, and as always I hope you guys enjoy my take on this beer. It's always cool to review things from different states in America as well, because I know that some of the distribution laws over there are a bit crazy because of the federal system. Although, strangely enough, Germany is also a federal republic, but they don't seem to have these same distribution problems that can happen in America, actually. But yeah, as always with my reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that hopefully I can do in the future from Aslin Beer Company. Very first time I'm trying one of their beers, of course. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city, state, county, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlists of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the American beers that I've reviewed for you. That's constantly being added to, and as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about the Aslin Beer Company then, on to my brewery notes. So Aslin Beer Company were originally based in Herndon in Virginia, which again is a suburb of Washington DC, but the company was founded back in 2014 by Andrew Kelly, Kai Leskovics and Richard Thompson. But apparently they started homebrewing together around 2012 and just took it from there. So they wanted to start off their brewery with a small kind of 10 barrel system, but they really just didn't have the cash for that at the time. So they decided to go with a 2-barrel nano brewery, and they sold their beer directly to consumers on the premises, and they gradually expanded using the modest profits that they made. But they credit a lot of their early success to the way that they did this, their direct-to-consumer approach, because what they were really good at doing was actually asking the customers, you know, what did you think of this beer? And the customers apparently really felt valued and that their feedback was really taken on board. So this helped them build a really good relationship with their customers. So very quickly their reputation began to grow and they could expand their brewery at quite an impressive rate. But in early 2019 they closed the doors of their original tap room in Herndon, and this was in anticipation of their move to a new premises in Alexandria, which includes a far larger production facility. I think it was somewhere in the region of 20,000 square feet they were talking about. I'm not sure what that is in meters in real people measurements, because Americans like to use feet and non-metric things which confuse the hell out of us Europeans, but they also have a larger tap room there which apparently was going to be 3,500 feet, which is pretty big. I'm guessing that is probably somewhere in the region of 1,000 square meters actually, which is quite impressive. But as of May 2019, when I'm filming this review, they've done around 270 different types of beers according to Untappd, and they're most known for the New England style of IPAs, but they have got things in there like brown ales and Berliner Weisses and other sour beers and stuff like this too, but mainly it's the New England IPA that these guys have built their reputation around. The name of the brewery itself comes from the fact that Andrew and Kai are married to 2 of the 3 Aslin sisters, while the 3rd sister is married to Richard's brother, so they named it after this family that they have quite a lot of connections to. So pretty cool actually. It was, as I say, when I picked up this beer actually. I thought it was from Pennsylvania rather than Virginia. I thought I saw a PA on the side of this one. But yeah, it's cool to try my second beer from Virginia, and it's quite interesting this actually. We seem to get bursts of beers from different states over here in Europe. Mainly our beer that we got from America always came from Colorado or from California, but recently, you know, we had a lot of beers coming from Chicago and Illinois. We've also had other things from different places around New England, and all of a sudden we're starting to get things from Virginia. We were having a period where we were getting a lot of things from North Carolina as well, so it's cool to try different things from different states in America. So long may it continue. There's always new things to try from America, and they always tend to be pretty damn good as well. But yeah, check out this brewery if you're particularly interested in the New England style of IPA, because this is where they have apparently really made their name. 270 different beers having been in existence for a period of about 4 or 5 years is pretty damn impressive, I have to say. So thumbs up to Aslin just for the effort they've made to do all these different beers. But yeah, that's all you really need to know about the Aslin Beer Company just now. If you want to try a little to learn a little bit more, you can check out the brewery website in the description below. It is quite a basic website, to be honest with you. It's probably better that you follow them on Facebook or Instagram, and that'll keep you up to date with all the latest goings on. And of course, you can check out the list of all these different beers that they have on Untappd as well. But yeah, let's get on to the actual tasting of this beer itself then. So yeah, as you can see, quite a nice artwork on this one. I do like, since my trade is as an astrophysicist originally, you know, I do actually like these ones that have a little bit of a kind of space theme to them. I do like the stars and the sea there. I always think that's quite cool. But yeah, there you can see the Starfish, who I'm guessing by his floppiness has had a few too many of these beers. But yeah, nicely presented artwork. This one, you know, typical kind of modern style artwork that you're finding on these beers. By no means am I an art buff, so there'll probably be some art critic somewhere wagging his finger at me. There you can see the Aslin Brewery Company symbol. I'll just let the camera zoom in on that. Double orange Starfish, double IPA coming in at 8.3%. But yeah, this can is one American pint, which it says on the side here is 473 millilitres. And look at that! Good Aslin Beer Company. They use real people measurements on their can as well. We have the metric system, which is always good. I never understand why Americans use pints and fluid ounces and all of this stuff, because the metric system, it's based on water. Water is our universal solvent, you know. I never understood this. I can't remember how the American system actually works. But yeah, we'll get this guy out and into the can, and straight away, when you open up this beer, you are going to smell some of these lovely Galaxy notes. You know, Galaxy always gives you this lovely kind of passion fruity pineapple note. So there was always the Simcoe hop as well. Simcoe was the one that you always used to use for passion fruit until Galaxy came along. And Galaxy has the passion fruit in it, but it also has a little bit more of a complexity, some kind of like pineapples and papayas and things like that. And the Citra, of course, was the first main high alpha acid hop, so it gives you these kind of mangoey notes, and you can smell that straight away as soon as you open up this can. So as you can see with this beer, if I hold it up to the light, this is definitely more of a kind of yellowy colour. You can see that this beer just looks like pineapple juice or something like that. There's a solid finger and a quarter, I would say, of a frothy, perfect white head on this one. Not even a creamy edge to it, definitely perfectly white. One or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, and a few little ones just heading up towards the bottom of that head there. This is one of these New England IPAs that really just looks like an absolute juice bomb. It looks basically like fruit juice out of the packet, actually. So yeah, this is what I've kind of become accustomed to with this particular beer style. So yeah, really interesting that. So nothing particularly surprising about this one in terms of its appearance. It looks pretty much as you would expect from a New England IPA, be it pale ale IPA or double IPA. So yeah, let's take a closer look at that aroma then and just see how we go on. But as I say, when you move this beer around, you really do get a very nice kind of soft juicy fruitiness coming out of this beer. But let's take a closer look at it and see how we go. So yeah, nice little bit of the malt base on this one is quite interesting, because you've definitely got a little bit of that nice wheaty quality coming through. You can feel that the wheat in this one has a little bit of a pungency, and it's just trying to push its way out. It's not one of the more you know, the oatiness is coming out there, but to me it's the wheat that's pushing its way out of the malt base in this one. There's definitely a little bit of a biscuity sweetness in there. You can pick up the oaty creaminess as well, but to me there's just something in my head that's saying that the wheaty qualities in this beer have a little bit more presence compared to some of the other New England IPAs that I've tried. But yeah, nice little bit of a biscuity note in there. The malt base comes across as being, you know, quite simple, and this is one of the things about the New England IPAs in comparison to the West Coast ones. The West Coast ones can have a little bit more complexity in the malt base, whereas the New England ones are straight up are very kind of smooth and things. I do wonder if they've used a little bit of dextrose or something like that in here, because it does have a little touch of that more creamy note. But it could just be straight up oats. But the wheaty side of the beer, there is just, as I say, something in my head that makes me think this is a more kind of wheat focused malt base that they've got in here. So yeah, very curious about the beer in that respect. I always like, to me, for me to really enjoy a beer, it does have to have a good malty presence to it. So yeah, on the hoppy side of things then, nice little bit of floral aromaticity to this one, good little bit of spicy quality in there. You've got a nice lighter sort of grassy aspect to this beer as well. To me, the green side of the hops really leans a little bit more towards the floral side of the things. It's not too spicy, there's a little touch of earthiness in there, and you've got some really nice juicy fruity qualities as well. So yeah, on the fruity side of this beer, it is pretty much what you'd expect. There's a lot of nice juicy mango in there. And when you start to smell the fruits, you can almost smell a little touch of a lactosey, dextrosey, milky type quality to the beer, which is interesting. So yeah, passion fruits in there, which will be from the Galaxy. Definitely some juicier mangoes too. A little bit of pineapple. I want to say there's a papaya, apricot-y type thing in here as well, and that's mixing in with those lactosey, dextrosey flavours, or aromas rather, that I was talking about earlier. But yeah, nice, a really lovely juicy fruity quality to this beer, I have to say. You can pick up a little bit of the lychee, and I think it is more lychee rather than anything else, which is one of the complexities that you'll get from Citra. But to me, mainly this is passion fruit, mangoes, a little bit of a papaya, apricot-y kind of thing in there as well, and you've got a nice, slightly spicy floral note, and also the wheat is just pushing its way out as well. So as I always say, take a little bit of time and just enjoy the aroma of the beer before you get stuck into it. But I've got a very good feeling about this just based on the aroma. So take a little bit of time and enjoy that aroma for yourself before you get stuck in. But let's have a taste of this one then. So this one is the Double Orange Starfish from Aslin Beer Company in Alexandria in Richmond in Virginia over in America. Or not Richmond, sorry, Alexandria in Virginia, just to the south of DC in America. Let's get stuck in. Slàinte, skål. Yeah, once again, another really solid double New England IPA, this one. It's kind of, the malt base in this one is as I suspected. It's more a wheaty malt base, this one, I find. It's got a lovely smoothness to it, but you can just tell from the aroma in this one that it is going to be a little bit more wheat centred. This beer isn't quite as creamy as some of the other New England IPAs that you're going to come across, but the way that the malt base smooths out with the wheat is another really interesting way that you can do it. But just on the basis of the first taste, this one gets a thumbs up from me. You will enjoy this beer if you like the style. It's really solid. Yeah, I like how that's going together. I mean, this is one of these beers that's it's not like crazily complex, but it's just very, very well done. And I think I actually said the same about the Valhalla from Triple Crossing. There's a lot of breweries that are really doing very, very well with this style, and this one really reminds me, of course, the breweries that we had over here in Sweden that were doing these kind of beers, with the likes of Stigbergets. We've got Spike Brewery, you've got Dugas Brewery having a go at these as well, Omnipoil with the Fata Morgana and things like that. These beer, we've always had a very good quality of New England IPA in Sweden, and just over in Denmark, and we've had it as well. So it's cool to go and actually try the American ones, and of course this is a brewery that isn't actually from New England that's trying this, and it's cool to just see that our breweries here are keeping up to the standards of the American ones as well. This is a really nice New England IPA, this one. It's interesting to see this beer style from other different perspectives as well, because like I say, not a brewery from New England, but they can do a pretty damn good New England style. I'd love to have a go of a West Coast IPA from some of these breweries, because there's not many actually brewing them now. Everything is all about the haze craze, of course, but two very different styles of IPA that are both really nice. But yeah, that's really nice. So yeah, with the malt base in this one, you can feel that nice, smooth, wheaty quality, just blanket in the middle of your tongue there. When you go further into the aftertaste, you can feel a bit more of an oaty creaminess to the beer too. In the centre of your palate, you've got a nice kind of biscuity note to this one as well. There's not really a slightly stronger caramel in there. For me, it's more of a biscuity note. And it's interesting with this beer how it evolves. You really can feel that nice smooth wheaty character in there, and the way that the creaminess comes out further into the way that the creaminess comes out further into the aftertaste with this one is really quite interesting. I do like it how all these different New England IPAs just have their own niches, and the different brewers seem to have their own niches when it comes to building their malt bases and stuff like this. But this is a really nice one. If you like a nice kind of sharp, if you like, a nice kind of punchy New England IPA, then this is one that you are really going to enjoy. And this one just has a little bit of bite to it in the beginning, but it smooths out really quite nicely, I have to say. So yeah, nice malt base, really nicely done in this one, and it smooths out very nicely as well and just becomes that little bit more creamy. On the hoppy side of things then, back corners of the palate, you've got a nice little touch of earthiness there. As you come further forward on the sides of the tongue, it does get a little bit more floral and grassy. There is a little bit of floral bitterness there, but round the very front curve of the palate it's just lighter and grassy, and you've got that nice sort of crisp freshness to the beer. The front corners of the palate does have a nice sort of spicy and floral aromatic note, but by no means is this a beer that's going to blow the head off you. I think you'd be lucky to get 30 IBUs out of this one, to be honest, but it's got a really nice cracking fruity flavour to it. So as I always say, behind the front curve of the palate you get that nice oily bubble where those juicy fruity esters start to push their way out of the beer, and again this one is very straight up there. At the back of that you've got the mango-y notes, and some of the passion fruits kind of mixing in with that. It does feel like the passion fruit and the mangoes are just all mashed up together, so a little bit from the Galaxy and a little bit from the Citra as well. But as you come further forward you get a little bit more of a pineapple. I want to say there's a little touch of a peachy note, pardon me, to this beer as well. And right on the front of the palate there's a little bit of an almost limey character to this one. Depending on what you mix Citra with, of course, you can get different complexities out of it. Sometimes you get lychee, sometimes you'll get lemon and lime, and sometimes, you know, you'll get gooseberries and stuff. To me there is just a little touch of a limey note on the front edge of the tongue. But I mean, this is a really, really nice and very drinkable New England IPA. In fact, this is one of the beers that highlights the dangers of this style, because it is that easy to drink at 8.3%. That's a bit crazy, to be honest. But yeah, it's another really, really nice beer, this one. And as I say, the thing that really strikes me about this one is just the malt base isn't quite as creamy as you can get. It's more of a kind of wheaty malt base, this one. It just has that little bit of bite to it, if you like. I don't know if it's right to say it's got a little bit more of an astringent malt base, but it really comes across and just makes the beer feel that little bit lighter and more drinkable. And the way that the wheaty quality comes out of this one matches in with that little bit of spicy, grassy quality that you have on the hoppy side of things too. So yeah, a really nice New England IPA, this one. It has a little bit of bite to it in the beginning, but it just smooths out really, really quite nicely, actually. So yeah, in terms of the mouthfeel then, I would describe this beer as being fairly mid-bodied, probably at the kind of middle part of mid-bodied, if that makes sense too. It's not pushing being heavier bodied. Nice smooth mouthfeel overall, not quite as creamy as some of the other New England IPAs you're going to come across right enough, and you know, it has a little touch of an oily character to it as well. There's a little bit of wetness in there, but it does come across as being a very smooth but still quite oily beer, this one, which really works for it. As I was saying earlier, I think you'd be lucky to get about 30 IBUs out of this one, but it does have a nice little bit of hoppy bitterness, but definitely one of the smoother New England IPAs you'll come across too, but just not quite as creamy. Malt base is really well balanced between the smoothness and there's a little touch of sweetness in there just to kind of bolster it up too, and you've also got some really nice juicy fruity qualities to this one as well. So yeah, this beer is really nice if you want a really drinkable double New England IPA, then this is one that's going to push all the buttons for you and just tick all the boxes. To me, this one is a little bit less creamy than some of the other ones and a little bit more wheat centred, which is always kind of interesting. It basically gives you a nice change of pace, this New England IPA, but a very, very solid example of the style, and one that you should really check out, particularly if you like your more kind of tropical fruity New England IPAs, this, because it's got a very good balance between the passion fruits and the mangoes. So yeah, give this beer a try for yourself and just see what you think, but I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink this one again. Be very curious to try some of the other ones too. I'm not sure how regular a beer this is either, if it is a special edition or whatever, but when they've produced 270 beers in the space of about 4 or 5 years, they are pretty prolific, so hopefully at some point I can try something else from them. It'd be cool to try a West Coast IPA from them and just see how they get on too. But yeah, let's leave it at that for this one. This one is the double, just to make sure I got the right name, the double orange Starfish from Aslin Beer Company in Alexandria in Virginia over in America. A really nice New England IPA, this one New England Double IPA, and I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink it again, and it makes me very curious to try some of their other beers too. But yeah, once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comments section below. Let me know what your favourite beers are from the Aslin Beer Company, and we'll definitely return to these guys very shortly over the next little while, if I can still get a hold of some more of their beers. But thank you again for watching. Make sure you check out my social media, and I will catch you guys very soon. The double orange Starfish from Aslin Beer Company in Alexandria in Virginia over in America. Slàinte, skål.